All right, what a win for the Utah Jazz. You think this guy matters? It's the Hoops Nerd postgame show. Massive win for the Utah Jazz, getting a win over the Memphis Grizzlies in Game 2. No thanks, or say goodbye to Kenny Mauer. That guy can just go off and just take a trip to Antarctica and walk into the nethers of that continent, because that guy cost the Jazz a playoff game. Kenny Mauer doesn't show up tonight, and guess what? Things changed. Although someone else showed up tonight too, and it was a big deal. Before we talk about the Jazz, let's talk about the Grizzlies. When you mention the Grizzlies, you've got to talk about Ja Morant. My goodness, tonight he was out of his mind. 47 points for Ja Morant. It was 57% shooting. That was all from 2. He was 2 for 7 from 3. He took 20 free throws and made 15 of them, with also 7 assists. He's out of this world. And the Jazz got to figure out a better way to guard him, because my goodness, they couldn't do a lot with him, and he was getting that floater to just go. He was getting into the lane at will. The Jazz got to figure something out and get the ball out of his hands and figure out ways to guard Ja Morant in different ways, because he is a superstar, and you've got to kind of start giving Ja Morant a little bit of the superstar treatment that you give to guys like Steph and Damian Lillard and those types of guys that just kill you. Let's see, Kenny, let's go. Robert Hall, awesome game to watch live. Good job, guys. Hopefully the crowd was out. You know what's something strange about the TNT broadcast is it doesn't really seem to play the crowd noise as well as the ESPN one does. Does anyone else notice that? It's strange. Like the broadcast just does not seem to show that as well as ESPN. It's weird. Like their crowd noise is different. I don't know if it's different TV crews or what, or different settings on their video equipment or what. But guess what? It just didn't seem like it was quite as loud. And so I'm guessing it was pretty loud there. It seemed like it, but you just don't hear it through the TV. So I don't know. But anyways, Ja Morant is an absolute star. Unbelievable. And he's just kind of blossoming in this postseason, beating the Warriors now against the Jazz. Just looks amazing. 47 points. Problem was it wasn't enough, because Utah scored 141 as a team. Just absolutely electric offense from the Jazz. And so the Memphis Grizzlies just got to find a way to get points from someone else. And part of the problem is that they, actually you look at the Valanciunas line, 18 points, only 6 rebounds. He actually wasn't really the issue. I mean, Valanciunas was scoring, but you get 16 points from Jaren Jackson, 11 from Kyle Anderson, and then 23 from Dillon Brooks. And then the bench for the Grizzlies, just not quite there like it was last game. Melton had 7, Desmond Bane 5, Tyus Jones 2. So the bench points really just kind of favored the Jazz. When you go look at the Jazz, you have, let's see, with the Jazz on the bench, you had Ingles 14, Derek Favors had 5, Jordan Clarkson 16, and George Niang 8. So you can kind of, in a lot of ways, just talk about how the depth of the Jazz really just kind of outdid the Grizzlies. But anyways, Dillon Brooks, who is the most hated man in Utah right now, still scored 23 points, but he was in foul trouble, and he just can't guard Donovan Mitchell. He can't. He's just not able to do it. Elvin Sarev, let's see, let me say this correctly. Elvin joins the channel. It's not showing up in the chat yet, but welcome to the channel, Elvin. You're a part of the Hoops Nerd team. I can't see yet what tier it was. It's not showing me. It's not showing me. All right, when it shows me, Elvin, I'll give you your shout out. But Dillon Brooks can't guard Donovan Mitchell, and that's okay. Not anyone really can. Dillon, he can guard Mike Conley pretty well, and he does a good job against certain defenders. But Donovan Mitchell is so fast that he he just dominates. And the thing about Donovan, I guess I'm struggling because I don't want to talk about the Grizzlies anymore. I want to talk about the Jazz. Dillon Brooks has got that mid-range shot, and the Jazz seem to actually do a pretty decent job of guarding that. When he pulls up in that mid-range, it's kind of a weapon for him. But tonight, Dillon Brooks, if you look at Dillon Brooks, he had a nice line. 10 for 14 from the field, 23 points. That's actually really good, and he was in some foul trouble. He only played 28 minutes tonight. That's actually really solid for Dillon Brooks. I didn't realize he shot that well. That's kind of, I'll be honest, and I try to be like fair. If you're getting 57% shooting from Ja Morant, 47 points. You're getting 28 minutes of 10 of 14 shooting from Dillon Brooks. Between the two, they scored 70 points, and they lost by almost by 15 points. That's really tough. Jake Preston, subscribe to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Elvin, it didn't show me what you're joining. It did. It didn't show me, Elvin. But welcome to the channel. Whatever tier you're in, welcome. And also, it didn't show me the other one. What's going on here? Show me. Show me at YouTube. Show me. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to Elvin and my other. And I already forgot. I'm sorry, guys. It usually shows me in the chat, and it's not. I don't know why it's not doing it. Come on, YouTube. Come on. Anyways, those are the two top scorers for the Grizzlies. They've got to find some sort of production out of someone else. But when Utah has Donovan Mitchell on the floor, it's really just it's a talent discrepancy. The Jazz just have more talent on the floor and more just veterans who know how to play their roles and score and do a lot of things. And so that's probably a problem with the Memphis Grizzlies. All right, let's talk about the Utah Jazz. What a nice win. Does Donovan Mitchell matter? Do you guys think that Donovan Mitchell matters to the Utah Jazz? Because the answer to that is yes, he does matter. This is a channel where we ask questions and answer them correctly. Robert Hall, 199. Fans were booing Brooks so hard. It was hilarious. Amazing. Good job. And Robert Hall, thank you so much for the 199. I appreciate it so much. Key himself, did you see I got Manscaped? Key, you got a Manscaped? Key, you got Manscaped, baby. Did you see I got Manscaped? Go Jazz, we come in LA. Yes, sir. Hey, Key, guess what? You used the Hoops Nerd promo code and saved 20% and got free shipping, and now you are a smooth man that is smoother with the ladies, smoother in your ball. You know what? I don't know how I'm going to say this. Let's just say that Key himself's a better baller today because he's got the Manscaped. He's a baller. He's balling. He knows that the ball handling just got better for Key himself. That offseason work is working for you, Key. There we go. And also, thank you for $2, Key. I really appreciate it. He's a smooth cockerator. Yeah, with Manscaped. All of you can become ultimate ballers. Holler ballers. Ethan Rock, 199. Jazz in 5. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate it. Welcome, Ethan, to the chat. Jazz in 5. Very possible. But let's talk a little bit about what the Jazz need to do. Wait. Before we talk about the Jazz, we have to do the read. I almost forgot. I'm too excited. All right. Just like Key himself, you also can become a manscaper, a baller, one of the elite dribble drive people. I don't know how that. Let's just do this. Support for the Hoops Nerd channel is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped, grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer. The Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right. The 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code HoopsNerd at manscaped.com. It works. It makes me smooth. Look at that. I'm trim and clean on top. And if you can imagine the spherical smoothness of this, imagine what it will do for your family jewels. Imagine shaving a sleek, well-designed and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. It's incredible. I'm Vanna White, but the male version, also bald. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code HoopsNerd at manscaped.com. Guys, go get it. The Lawnmower 4.0. It's really worth it. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code HoopsNerd. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with manscaped.com. All right, guys. First off, we've got to say, DWCG, James is Manna White. There we go. Manna White, baby. Levon Panhurst, $4.99. Thank you, sir. Rudy dominated the beginning of the fourth. I knew we'd win after the first 3 possessions of the quarter. Yeah, let's see. I 100% agree, Levon. There were times where Rudy Gobert was godlike tonight. He was unbelievable. And all the haters on Twitter, all the Nationals, the Kendrick Perkins, the hardwood paroxysms, all of those guys, you haters, you bad faith actors, you liars, you didn't know what you were talking about before, because tonight you got a full on frontal of Rudy Gobert action. You couldn't avoid it. You couldn't look away. You couldn't watch your other things that you do. Who knows what you guys do in your free time? It's certainly not watch the NBA or the Jazz. I know that. But Rudy Gobert was absolutely a monster tonight. But before we talk about Rudy Gobert, let's just talk about Donovan Mitchell. He made all the difference for the Jazz. He makes everything different. There's 2 things that he does. The first thing I want to say is just the absolute leadership of Donovan Mitchell. This Jazz team lacks toughness sometimes. This Jazz team lacks some fire and some anger and some rage on the floor sometimes. They didn't have it last game. They got punked by the Grizzlies. They were laughing in their faces, and the Jazz just did not have an answer. Well, this guy brought it tonight, and there was fear in the eyes of the Grizzlies. They were afraid. They had no answer for him. Dillon Brooks was like a deer in the headlights. He did not know what to do. And when Donovan Mitchell is on the floor, he brings fire. He brings intensity. This is what I want to see. And he brings it. And it's important. And it's not something to forget about or take for granted. Because when you're in a game like last game, when Bojan Bogdanovic struggled so much and Jordan Clarkson struggled so much, there wasn't someone to bring that energy that you need to get through those tough moments. Rudy Gobert is incredible, but Rudy Gobert last game was in foul trouble. There just was not someone there to carry the team emotionally, and that matters. It really does. And so to see that fire on the floor was incredible, and you could just feel a difference. You could really feel it. Robert Hall, $2.99. Donovan lit it up immediately. Exactly. He lit it up emotionally. And then, Robert, you're completely correct. By the way, thank you for the $2.99. I appreciate it. He lit it up statistically. And not even just statistically. He scored 12 points or something in the first quarter. He was just bombing threes, and it felt like he was just ready to score. I mean, he looks just ready to go. He looks like he's a little tentative, like trying to feel things out. He also might be, honestly, a little bit needing to get back into game shape. There was near the end where you worried a little bit about the ankle. Did he tweak it or something? I honestly felt like he was kind of just a little gassed because he hasn't played an NBA game for a month or so. And so you're just going straight into NBA playoffs. That's tiring. Justin Ty H, $9.99. Thank you, Justin. Just in time, baby. That's right. Last time we gave the just in time for the show. Love having Donovan back. Makes my heart feel warm. Go Jazz. Justin Ty H, also known as Just in Time. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. But yes, Donovan Mitchell came in and he was bombing threes. But the thing that Donovan Mitchell does, and he doesn't even necessarily always have to be statistically elite. And this is something that analytics guys got to calm down a little bit of sometimes with Donovan when they're saying and I think Rudy Gobert is probably the most important player on the Jazz, but I also there are times where I think Donovan Mitchell is. And here is why. But first, before I say why, Vincent Leos, $2. Thank you, sir. Royce O'Neal played really good today. Yes, 4 for 6 from 3 for Royce. I felt like there were a few times where he had some defensive things that he needs to work on, and I think he needs to go under all screens with Ja Morant. But I agree, Vince. He had some nice shooting. Fantastic shooting from Royce. And by the way, we've talked about this before. If Royce can shoot efficiently from 3 and shoot with confidence, that changes everything for the Jazz. It really does. And so you're completely correct, Vincent. I agree. All right. So what Donovan Mitchell does, even if he doesn't necessarily score super efficiently, is that he bends the defense. One thing that you probably noticed when Donovan Mitchell was not playing, and it's just Mike Conley and Joe Ingles and those guys initiating pick and rolls, is those guys aren't always able to blow by their guy. Once in a while, Mike Conley is quick enough to blow by someone, but usually he's not exploding to the rim like like Donovan Mitchell does. When Donovan Mitchell has the ball in his hands, he is immediately able to explode to the rim and beat his guy. And what that does is it punctures the defense and it forces the other defenders to collapse around him. And what that does is it forces rotations. Other guys have to move over. So the guy that Donovan Mitchell beat, he has to figure out who he's going to guard. Because what happens is you're going to have Valanciunas come up to defend. And so the guy that Valanciunas was guarding is now open, so someone else on the team has to rotate to guard him. That creates open three-point shooters. And the thing that Donovan Mitchell has become so good at is finding those open three-point shooters if the shot's not there. If Valanciunas is too slow to guard him, then Donovan Mitchell will just score at the rim, and he did it multiple times tonight. He did multiple times where he scored at the rim. There was even one where he missed like a little gimme. Let's see. $2 from Key himself for Audrey. Audrey's sleeping in my bedroom right now. Take her to R&R Barbecue to get a doggy bag. You know what I'm going to do, Key? Those $2. I've been buying Audrey beef rib bones. They're like $1 something at Winco or whatever, and she loves them. So guess what? I'll go buy 2 bones in Key's honor for Audrey, and she will love them. It'll also keep her from chewing up my shoes and my kids' toys. So thank you, Key. I really appreciate it. But anyways, that ability of Donovan Mitchell to puncture the defense, get to the rim, and bend everything and force everyone else to rotate makes everything happen. It is not a coincidence that the Jazz scored 141 points tonight, guys. It is not a coincidence. What it is Donovan Mitchell. For one, he had an efficient night tonight. Donovan Mitchell's night was fantastic. Let's look. I haven't even checked the line yet, but I know it was great. 50% from the field, 8 for 16, 3 for 5 from 3. Or no, that's Mike Conley. Mike Conley was elite. Sorry. Donovan Mitchell, 8 for 19, 42% from the field, 5 for 10 from 3, 50% from 3. He scored 25 points. He was a +9 with... Let's see, he didn't even need to assist the ball tonight because he was scoring so efficiently. And I actually wasn't looking for that. And Donovan Mitchell scored 25 points in 25 minutes. 5 for 10 from 3, +9. Unbelievable. That Mike Conley line is actually amazing. 8 for 16 for 50, 3 for 5 from 3, 20 points for Conley. 15 assists for Mike Conley. Jim Bersarius. I didn't see it completely tonight. For some reason, Jim, thank you for joining the channel, Jim. I appreciate it. Subscribe. Jim Bars. I tried to see it again on the late delay. Thank you for joining the channel, subscribing. I appreciate it. You're incredible. Thank you, sir. Anyways, hopefully I'm making my point here. What Donovan Mitchell does, he punctures that defense, opens things up for everyone else. It also allows Quinn Snyder to play other guys in their right roles. Joe Ingles comes off the bench and plays 27 minutes tonight, but Ingles was incredible, actually. 14 points. He was 4 for 4 from the field, 3 for 3 from 3, +7 for Joe Ingles, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. It allows Joe Ingles to play kind of a secondary role and run pick and rolls. It allows Jordan Clarkson to play 22 minutes. He played 30 minutes last game. You have Clarkson being a little bit more efficient. 4 for 11 from the field, only 1 for 6 from 3, but he was 7 for 7 from the free throw line. He was a +16 with 16 points. So Jordan Clarkson had a nice night tonight. And I think what happens is that you see that Jordan Clarkson fits when Donovan Mitchell's playing. Jordan Clarkson falls into that perfect sixth-man role that we know and love him for, that he does so well. Jordan Clarkson is better when he's being a pure sixth man. Without Donovan Mitchell, there's a lot of times where Quinn runs the offense through Jordan Clarkson. And it's, as much as we love Jordan Clarkson and his ability to score, he's not as much of a facilitator like Donovan Mitchell is. That's the thing too, is Donovan Mitchell's passing is so underrated. And I know he had 0 assists tonight, but he had multiple like hockey assists where he gets to the rim, he passes it, and that creates an opening for another pass that goes to an open shooter. And you guys saw that tonight if you watched closely. Levon Panhurst, $4.99. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Been listening to your post-Jazz videos for 2 years now. I live in California and I enjoy your Jazz takes. Thank you. Well, Levon, I thank you. Thank you, Levon. You're incredible and amazing. And shout out to the Jazz fans in California. You're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. I think Austin R. Grant, I think you're from California too, right? I think so. What a relief to have Donovan back. Definitely got super anxious when DM was walking into the tunnel. I did as well. And so I don't know if there was a little issue there with the ankle. I don't think so because he looked fine. I'm sure his ankle's a little sore. But yeah, he is I don't know. I think it was honestly Zintas joined the channel. Welcome to All-Star. Zintas, we got a new All-Star. We got someone who changes the game. Welcome, Zintas. Okay, so those other three, those are subscribers. I forgot how I even set up my own channel. That is the level of quality you're getting. I forgot what I even do. Zintas, I love it. Welcome to All-Star. You are the one that penetrates and gets to the rim, kicks it out to an open Joe Ingles or an open Bojan Bogdanovic. And sometimes they make the three, and if they don't, it keeps you from getting an assist. But you still do it because you're an All-Star, Zintas. Welcome to the channel. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Welcome to the channel. By the way, All-Stars, we're doing a Q&A on Sunday. I believe it's not a Jazz night, and I felt bad because the other night I felt like I did not do a good enough job of giving you enough time to prep for those who want to join. But we're doing a Google Meet on Sunday for All-Stars. It will be fun. We always have fun. We talk about the Jazz and stuff. It's very cool. Anyways, I honestly just want to talk about, I wanted to talk about tonight just Donovan Mitchell's absolute impact and what he does. The Jazz scored 141 points tonight. As a team, they shot 48% from three. So that's probably a tiny bit of an outlier, that much shooting. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see next game. The Jazz might not be shooting 48%, but if the Jazz shoot 38% from three, they still win these games pretty comfortably. The big thing for Utah at this point is to figure out ways to slow Ja Morant and Dillon Brooks down, because those guys shot out of this world. I mean, those two guys, 70 points on incredible efficiency. The Jazz got to figure out a way to slow that down. And they need better nights from Bojan Bogdanovic had actually a pretty nice night. And there were some things that Bojan did in the first half that I felt like were a big deal. We really saw how Bojan Bogdanovic, when he's on the floor with Donovan Mitchell, with Mike Conley, with all these guys, he's getting that third option. So he had multiple times where he's getting guarded by like Desmond Bane, and he was able to go and score. And he has a nice little post-up game. He's kind of a throwback player in some ways because he does have he's one of the, it's interesting, if you look at the analytics, and I don't have him in front of me, but he's one of the more effective post players in the NBA. He's actually really effective. The issue with Bojan is always his turnover percentage. So if Bojan can get that turnover percentage down, Chris and Arnautot, welcome to subscribe to the channel. Brax, subscribe to the channel. Welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome. But if Bojan Bogdanovic can lower that turnover rate and get those post-up opportunities against like third and fourth defenders, it's really effective offense. He's not the greatest driver because his handle is just not great, and that's where that turnover stuff comes into play. We've seen that multiple times this series, that his handle's not perfect. It's not great. It's good enough, but it's not great. And so that's the other thing too, is when he's going against inferior defenders like a Desmond Bane, they're not going to steal the ball. You know, if he's going up against their best guy, if Dillon Brooks is guarding Bojan, or the last game, it was like Kyle Anderson was secretly like the biggest part of the Grizzlies winning last game. He had like 7 steals. It was crazy. But if Bojan can like go against those weaker defenders, he can score, and it's really telling. And honestly, now that I've mentioned that, I don't recall Bojan going after Kyle Anderson, so I wonder if that was an adjustment for the Jazz. We already mentioned it earlier, but Royce O'Neal had a nice night, 4 for 6 from 3. That's a big deal, and he looked confident. He seems to sometimes just get a little like adrenaline, and I just, you know, if Royce can just like cool it, then I think he can be really effective. When he's hitting threes, it makes Utah unbelievable. It really does, because then there's zero weakness for the Jazz. I just banged my mic. Sorry, Mike. So anyways, that was really nice to see. And then we already mentioned Joe Ingles and Jordan Clarkson and how they're off the bench. They've been effective. Finally, one last fun little stat. George Niang, plus 19, biggest plus minus of the entire team. Shout out to George Niang, who hit some big threes, 2 for 4 from 3 tonight. That's big. The Jazz needed that last game. Honestly, if George Niang hit 1 or 2 more, the Jazz would have won that last game. So it's frustrating, but it is what it is. Sometimes the threes do not fall. All right, guys, I think we've covered literally everything. It's time to give a shout out to our All-Stars. These are the guys who make everything run, like we said, like tonight with let's see, we got to refresh this because we got a new All-Star tonight. These are the guys that penetrate the defense and force them to rotate and create open shots for everyone else. These are our all-stars. Let me pull this up. All right, our newest all-star, Zintas. Welcome to the channel, Zintas. I appreciate it. Ezekiel Raisibe. Well, you're not the newest all-star anymore, but you're still much appreciated. JT Buckets Wardell. Austin R. Grant, editor extraordinaire. Eric C. The C is for championship. Kelsey Hamer, the hammer. Donald Schooley, schooling all of us. Cody Strickland, strictly the best. Super Mitt Robach, DW to CB, Darren Williams, de Carlos Boozer, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de abajo, de Mexico, de los pesos, de que soy muy agradecido, Lee Christensen, seeing the show live, Shan Therick, the stud, Ryan Perry, the legend, Justin Ty H, Patrick Kakubo, my buddy, Robert Hall, my guy from Twitter, and also loyal Jazz Q&A man, and DW Jazz going all the way. Guys, this was a great win. It's really frustrating the Jazz didn't win their first one. They had to win this, and they won it in decisive fashion. And what's nice is I think there's things the Jazz can definitely improve upon, especially defensively. Let's see what they can do next time. John Delardo, subscribe to the channel. Welcome. Christian Pine, welcome. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you, sir. Welcome. Jorge Arrizaga, pesos mexicanos, 50 pesos. Gracias, Jorge. Estoy muy agradecido de esto. Muchas gracias. Guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, just like all the new subscribers tonight. Welcome to all of you. You're awesome. Welcome. We do this, and we're going to be doing more videos, and the new logo videos coming out. I shared it with starters. For those starters and all-stars, you can see the storyboard for the new intro video. It's really fun, and I've got my new logo and everything. Things are going up, and it's because of you guys. You guys are supporting the channel. I appreciate it as, like you can't believe it. I appreciate it a ton. What a win tonight for the Jazz. By the way, reminder, manscaped.com, guys, go get a lawnmower 4.0. And use the promo code HoopsNerd. You'll save 20%. You get free shipping. You will be, I'm not lying. It's not one of those things I'm just saying. I really like it. I really hope they become a permanent sponsor. We will see. But anyways, like and subscribe, guys. I will talk to you next time.